And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
One dad.
Hold up.
Not just exposure to one guy.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what Obama is trying to say here. It doesn't sit right with me. But let's keep watching, and I'll share my perspective a bit later.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
No!
That doesn't make sense to me. You don't need someone gay to show you kindness. Kindness is simply a human value, and we're all meant to love one another. I feel like Obama often tries hard to normalize this issue, and honestly, it just doesn't add up. But if you've really paid attention to his actions and what he represents, you'll see this isn't something new. It's part of an agenda that those backing him have been pushing for a long time. He wasn't just in the presidency by chance, he was put there to advance that agenda. Unfortunately, many people didn't recognize it. Take a moment and listen closely to what Dr. Umar said here.
Married to somebody of the same sex was acceptable, or where having sex with a baby was acceptable. The punishment was death. And still is in most African countries. That's why they sent Barack Obama over to Liberia, and they sent Barack Obama over to Tanzania, and Barack Obama threatened the presidents of sovereign African nations that if you don't legalize homosexuality, we will stop your funding. Why does the president of the United States care about whether or not gay people can get married in Africa? For two reasons. Number one, it's population control. Who's the number one supporter of gay marriage in America? Planned Parenthood. Is that a coincidence? The same organization that birthed the birth control movement, the abortion clinics, is the number one supporter of gay marriage. Why? Because two gay women can't reproduce. Two gay men can't reproduce. And why do they want it in the public schools? Why did Barack Obama approve this in the schools? It's because if I can get to the kids at 5, if I can get to them at 10, if I can get to them at 15, I can homosexualize every...
Call me crazy if you want, but I'm not here to support everything Kanye says. I just can't ignore the fact that he's spoken about this countless times. And every time he speaks truth, people rush to discredit him and paint him as insane so that no one takes him seriously. Look at the bigger picture. The same people who strongly push for gay marriage and abortion are often united in their opposition to the marriage institution God established. At the same time, they promote population reduction, and that's not by accident.
Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, was an avowed racist whose goal was to reduce the black population in America, and she succeeded. 80% of abortion clinics in America are in minority neighborhoods. Over 22,500,000 black babies have been aborted in 50 years. Over 1,000 black babies are aborted every day.
The next clip I'm about to play may be one of the most disturbing videos you'll ever watch. If you think what Kanye West or Dr. Umar Johnson has said came out of nowhere, then please watch this.
Reducing population growth, that's this big benefit. The key thing you can do to reduce population growth is actually improve health.
In the developed countries, the big winners are countries that have shrinking populations.
I would like to reduce the number of people on the planet because there's too many of us.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that. We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
They're not even hiding anymore. They have a plan, and they openly tell us what they're going to do. Yet we sit, listen, clap, and even fund the very people working to destroy us. That's how deep the brainwashing runs. Many voices have tried to wake us up, but we remain blind and deaf to the warnings. If we don't respond now, I fear we may not be able to save this world from these forces. Their plan for the world is already set, and Africa is no exception. They want to strip Africa of everything, starting with its people. That's why we keep seeing strange new diseases spreading across the continent, things never seen before. But by God's grace, Africa has always found protection. Remember, they expected COVID-19 to devastate Africa, yet it hit other parts of the world harder. Now, the video I'm about to share is one of the most disturbing yet. It outlines a specific plan they have for Africa. Listen carefully.
In Africa, yes, because there is a policy of the American government. It's called the Kissinger Report, which was produced in the mid-70s when Henry Kissinger was involved with the government. And it explicitly states, which to this day, it remains the official policy of the American government. It has not changed. It may not be implemented by Trump, but it remains the same. That the purpose of the foreign policy in Africa was to reduce the population. So to give aid to countries in Africa, not clean water and schooling and things like that, but contraception and abortion, in order to shrink the population of Africa, because they have great mineral resources there.
That sounds diabolical.
It is, yes.
That sounds like something conceived in the mind of Margaret Sanger.
Yeah, definitely. And so at the time, Kissinger and those involved with the Carter administration wanted to shrink the population, make sure that the Africans do not develop and do not use the resources for themselves, because we in the States, we need them. There is a concerted effort of foreign powers to control the population of Africa. Africa is a huge continent, could feed thousands more people, but the policies of the West, especially in Europe. For example, between 1990 and the year 2000, the United States, Canada, and Europe contributed about $6 billion in contraceptives, not to help the people, not to give clean water, clean food. That is
not to fight malaria, for example.
No, of course, perish the thought, never. Yeah. Let them die. That's the whole idea. So, in our work in HLI, we denounced this reality to make the Africans aware that they have to defend themselves against the influence of foreign powers.